Hey Tech Moms, this video is going to cover step 2 for clean the data using Excel. So to go through it just one more time, what it says here is you only want data as of July 31st, 2024. So you'll make a copy of the raw data by duplicating the tab, renaming it to analysis, and renaming the original tab to raw. In the Analysis tab, review the data in the Create Date column, sort it from oldest to newest, scroll to the bottom of the spreadsheet, delete any rows with the creation date after July 31st, 2024, check for duplicates, and erase any duplicate data. Okay, so let's go back to our Excel file. You should have filled this all the way out. Pretend that I did. We're going to come back, and the first step says... Oh, hang on one second. I'm just trying to move my video tools. There we go. We're going to make a copy of this. Now, this does work a little bit differently than it does in Google Sheets. So what we're going to do is come down to the bottom tab on the bottom ribbon, right-click, and then we're going to go to Move or Copy. Okay, you'll click on this, and it brings up this kind of instruction window. Can I make this any bigger? I don't think I can. Okay, so what we're going to do is, what this is saying is, it's basically just asking where we want to move this to. So if this was like an analysis that I've been working on and I needed to put it in maybe a team project, I could move this to a completely different book. You do have to have it open. A book is the entire Excel file is called a workbook. If it's just sheets within a workbook, they're called worksheets, okay? So you can move it to a new book. I can move it to another book that I have open. The other option is I could create a copy of it. So I'm going to click Create a Copy, and then it's saying, which sheet do you want to move this before? So in my case, I want this to show up after my raw data. So I'm going to say I want this to show up in order before Data Dictionary. I'm going to hit OK. You'll see it shows up there before Data Dictionary. Okay. Now I'm going to rename this. I'm going to right click, go to Rename, and we're going to call this Tech Moms Applicant Data. Here, I'll do this. We'll do TM Applicant Analysis. Actually, let me name it what Allison asked us to. She says just name it Analysis. Okay, my bad. So we're going to come here. We're going to go Analysis. Okay. And the other step is to make a copy of the raw, rename it to Analysis, rename the original tab to raw. Okay, so we're going to right click, rename. Now I kind of want to keep most of the name. It's just helpful for me, but I'm going to put raw. You'll see that I was limited on how many characters I could have for the name. So this is my raw data. You kind of don't want to touch this. You can do to go explore, but any kind of pivot tables are going to be built off of the Analysis tab. Okay, so our next step is to scroll all the way over to where it has a date. This is like a creation date, like when the applicant submitted this. And we are going to, excuse me, we're going to sort this from like oldest to newest. And the way that we can do that is we can click here and we can sort oldest to newest. So the oldest applicant I have as November of 2025. Sorry, again, just trying to move my recording tools that are sitting in my way. If for the life of me I could do it. I guess not. Okay. And what we're going to do is scroll to the bottom of your data. Now there's a really quick way to do this. You could either scroll or hit Control and hit down arrow. And that will take me to the very last cell that exists in my data set, like before there's an empty space. And now what we're going to do is it says to highlight all of the cells that are before July 31st, 2024. excuse me, that are after July 31st, 2024. The way we can do that is even though we're scrolled all the way over to column N, we can come over and click on this cell, drag all the way down so that I'm starting on 1683 for my data. I'm going to scroll down to 1733. I'll right click, and actually before I delete it, let's just confirm. So if you come down to the scroll bar in this bottom ribbon, it's really helpful to be able to like move back and forth without deselecting your selection. So just be aware of that. But looks like this is selecting the rows that I want. I'm going to right click and then hit delete. If I do clear contents, it doesn't delete the rows, it just deletes the values inside of the cells, and that's not what I want. I want to actually just remove those from the data set altogether. So I'm going to hit delete, and that will have deleted all of the data that was after July 31st, 2024. Okay, and the last step in kind of a data cleaning process is you want to remove duplicates. Say the way that I would maybe identify a duplicate is if there were two cohort IDs that were, or contact ID, what's this column called? Anyway, if I had two that were 1766, and I don't necessarily want that. I want to have one unique applicant per row. And the way that you do that in Excel is first you come up to your top ribbon. So this is on the home tab. I'm going to go over to the data tab right here. And then I get all these different options, which you can dive into that. Maybe we'll get into it later. But what we're going to do is we're going to click remove duplicates. And it's saying, Excel is smart enough to know that I want to select my whole data set. If you wanted to like really specify, you can yourself come and select your columns, or you can click here to select them all and then click remove duplicates. Now it pops open this window that says to delete duplicate values, select one or more columns that contain duplicates. And I'm going to go through and say, yep, those are all the columns that I'm looking for. This is an important thing that shows up in Excel pretty often is basically saying my data has headers. And what it knows is select everything except for row 1 because that's a header row. Okay, we're going to hit OK. And it says 51 duplicates found, 1682 unique values remain. Note that the counts may include empty cell spaces, etc. We'll hit OK. Okay, so that's kind of your process for cleaning up some data. And that will get you through step 2. And in the next video, we'll go on to step 3.